Welcome back to another episode of Tides of Change. Each video takes a dozen hours to bring to life, so it would really help the channel if you could leave a like. And remember, members get early access to the next episode. Now then, back to the story. Hello and welcome everybody, I'm Jono the Eternal Optimist. Alright, so there have been modifications to the imbuement game mechanic because in its current form, it kinda sucks, especially when a lot of things happen in one day and then we travel for 2 weeks. So we're going to be ditching the daily spellcast mechanic and we're going to replace it with a chosen ability. When you want to imbue your spirits into something, you can make an active choice at that moment. So when you do an attack, you can use it to boost said attack roll. You can use it to boost said defense. However, I'm going to be keeping track of your spirits, and the more you use this, the more your endurance rolls will have to start coming into play. The key difference between imbuement and aura is that aura is like the filling of a pillow. It will negate damage. So it will reduce the impacts from other objects and spells and stuff. Imbuement is more like raw defense. So like an armor plate. So aura can still shatter if it's overwhelmed by something particularly powerful, like a Monkey King strike against Sylaris. But also, aura can completely negate all damage from something incredibly weak, like a pat on the back. Your aura could easily block that entirely. Like the damage reduction would be complete. Additionally, smaller creatures will get a higher damage reduction because the spirit concentration will be higher. They have smaller bodies. So for example, Hyacinth is a fae, and fae are incredibly rich in spirits, and because they're a small target. So the Hyacinth's aura will be far more damage negating. However, larger beings have natural thickness, natural resistance. So their physical damage resistance is already pretty high. So it balances itself out. I will be using it to reduce damage to you guys for your auras, and Hyacinth will be slightly more effective at that because physical damage is so detrimental to a tiny little butterfly.
That's why I got evasion.
Yes, you've got evasion and your aura. So even if something does hit you, you'll get damage reduction as well on top of that. Unless it completely overwhelms you, at which point, I'm sorry. As for Sylaris and Nick, you can now choose whenever you do an attack to imbue said attack. And I will give you a +5 for now because you're still beginner learners. But as you can imagine, as you start to master this, it could become +10, plus your weapon mastery, which would then give you more on top of that. So you can see how this can stack pretty dangerously. So yeah, whenever you get hit, you can choose to imbue your spirits to reduce the attack roll, or I mean against you, or like your defense roll against it, or you can imbue your attacks. So basically you can spam it as much as you want, but just remember you have a finite amount of spirits, which recovers as you rest and stuff.
So it works like skill now.
Yes, it'll be a skill amp. When you mentioned that you were quite like displeased with how imbuement was currently functioning, and I went, yeah, you know what? That does suck. Let me find a way to make it more exciting.
It was just really hard to use it because we never sleep.
Also, we left on a bit of a cliffhanger last week. Nix was about to have a dream sequence.
Should I do an instance roll now?
No, I actually need to continue with Spira first. Spira, as you remember last week, Galadorn listened to your story and you shared with him almost everything except for one specific thing, which I know it was. And he really empathized with your plight because he understood what it meant to have to leave your home, to leave your herd, to leave everything behind in order to try and save those you care most about. So Galadorn, again, he could see himself in you very much and what you were feeling and going through, and he's still absolutely torn. He agreed to let you know in the morning once he has come to a conclusion on what exactly to do, but he wants to share with you equally the journey that he has been through. So he explains that it was about 9 years ago when they arrived here on Tarnithia, and that they fled from hunters from Verdantia. It was only thanks to the efforts of Arista and Theron that they were able to convince the Monkey King, Jin Kong, to make an agreement to protect them within his territory. It's not as simple as just, setting up shop anywhere. They needed the Fae Circle, and they needed it to be a complex Fae Circle because Fae magic is wild and mysterious, and for them, manipulating time is relatively easy, but compressing space is much more difficult for a Fae. So it took them a long time to find an area of the forest, settle that forest, clear out that forest, and then have Theron compress that space into the size of the circle where you guys saw outside, where it looked like a small patch of clearing in a forest. But as you guys realize, the space that you're in now is far more larger than what it should have been from the outside. And this is why it took many years for the unicorns and Theron to actually create this circle, which is why it was only a few months ago. Additionally, Fey magic is not a precise calculation, so legends say it's a ratio of 1 to 100, but it can be anywhere in between. So it's not like a century has gone by in the past few months. Time is running faster inside the circle than it is outside. It's only been a few minutes of real time outside of the circle, even though you've spent half a day inside of it already. He puts his hand to his temple and he just says, yeah, Fey magic, it hurts my brain too.
Oh yeah, I avoided the Fey circles around where my herd went like the plague.
Very wise. If a member of your herd got separated and caught in a Fey circle, how many years it might take to be reunited once again. Your leader definitely had the right decision to forbid going into Fey circle. Our circumstances necessitated it. In fact, once we learned that the Fey circles can work in the reverse way, we realized that this was the opportunity to help us repopulate before anyone could discover us. So it took a while. It took almost a decade of work and planning, but here we are. He sighs for a moment and he says, okay, you know what? I realize everything is good to go. I don't need to worry as much anymore. I will agree to join you to help heal your friend, and I will put Elorena in charge of the herd while I'm away.
You will?
He sighs. He sighs very deeply and he's like, my arm has been twisted too much. First my daughter, then Arista, and now you. I just can't keep saying no. I feel like the monster here if I keep saying no. And I'm probably just overthinking it. As long as Arista and her pet dragon assist in protecting the herd here, then yes, I will join you.
Thank you so much.
Well, I can't guarantee that I can save your friend, but I will try my best.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if anyone could help him more.
I see. Then it must be truly terrible then, if only our magics can help.
He's been suffering from this for years. He's always in the strong one in our little group. So he hated how bad everything was from both me and Britta, and he's progressively getting worse and worse.
I see. Well then, we will do our best. We will explain it to everybody in the morning once we've had our rest. You've had one hell of a day. Please feel free to take a rest here. The Ember Lion skins are always warm.
Thank you.
Gina, you're very close to succeeding your mission. Now, let us see. Up next on my schedule here is Nyx.
Okay.
You have a dream. As you're leaning against the tree and the Ember Lion coat has been draped over you, gifted by Elorena and Arista, you feel the warmth of the fire and the warmth of the lion skin, and you just drift off to sleep. However, the sensation of fire shifts a little bit in your perspective of your dream as the warmth turns into a heat, similar to that moment you were singed during that first ever battle. The lights start to turn that azure blue, and you realize that you're standing on a battlefield. However, nobody can see you, nobody can feel you. You can see the folly of clans clashing against one another. They are decimating each other while the sky grows dark all around them. On the horizon, you can see giant tentacles in the distance closing in around your home. You see these tendrils reaching around the army, who still seems completely oblivious and unaware as it surrounds. Suddenly, you're thrown into a weightless space, and as you finally regain your footing, you see yourself back home in the garden. You see your parents standing before a grave, mourning the loss of you.
No.
They're sobbing.
I'm right here.
They're sobbing, they're crying. They don't respond. You also see Jiro on his knees, begging for forgiveness, but they can't see him either.
We're right here. Right here. Mom, Dad, I'm right here. Father. See, we're here. Me and Jiro, we're both here.
Jiro
We came back.
Jiro doesn't even look at you either. He just continues to plead with your parents that he did the best he could. In your mother's arms, there is a small blanket that lets out a strange cry. However, you can't see the face inside of it. And when you look into the blanket, instead of a child's face, you see Jiro's. And in a part of you, you're confused because you've only been away for a handful of months at most. It's impossible for your parents to have had a child already. and with a sudden jolt, you wake up in the cult, and you have no idea how to interpret this dream. And I'll throw you back into the room. Hello.
I went on a trip.
To drag Sylaris out. Come here, Lael.
Oh no.
Hello.
Hi.
You are bubbling away at the bottom of the pond when all of a sudden you feel a strange sensation tingling. At first, you're not entirely sure what it is. So all of a sudden, it feels as if the necklace, the amulet you've been wearing, grows tight. And for a moment, you panic as if it's about to strangle you. However, through the spirits connected to the amulet, you hear the familiar voice of Lady Thal ringing out. Sylaris, dear, I do hope that you can hear this message.
Yes, Lady Tal. I can hear it.
Unfortunately, it's a one-way connection, so I don't know if you're actually hearing me right now, but I like to think that you are. I was saving this for an emergency. However, things have gotten a little bit complicated over here. Good job on maintaining the updates that we agreed upon. Azath has been most pleased with the frequency of which you are fulfilling your mission. However, I am messaging you this now because things have gotten a little complicated. You see, your father has been imprisoned in Vergur, the other military city of our empire. And oddly enough, Commander Zur has been ordered by the Empress herself to go and find out exactly why Vergur are imprisoning one of my soldiers. Commander Zur, most frustratingly, refused to follow through until I sent you this message. And that is all. Click.
No way. What am I supposed to do with this information? I can't do anything about it. It's just cruel. Okay, so I think I should be contacting them again with the ink.
Yes, you can do that right now. What do you want to tell them?
Well, yes, something like that, but more respectfully.
It might take a while for the message to reach them.
Oh no.
It's not instant transmission.
Oh no.
On the far right-hand side, you say Vergur. Your father was in Tidebreaker Fort on the far left. That's where he had a mission. And it looks like he's on the opposite end of the ocean. For some reason.
He was at the Tidebreaker Fort.
Yeah, the Tidebreaker Fort's on the west, on the left.
On the
side.
west.
And
Oh
he's
my
currently
God,
imprisoned
how?
at Vergur.
How and why? Well, at least it's closer to us.
It was mentioned that your father had a mission at Hicksport and that a devil had been seen boarding there.
Oh.
Zenai also briefly mentioned that she once wiped out a devil at Vergur.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh.
There's a clue.
Oh.
I am so evil tonight.
You are. You are.
Another one for the trauma block.
Well, speaking of another one, Hyacinth. We have to go to the room.
What?
Oh, you got
I
trauma.
didn't do anything.
You got trauma.
Hyacinth doesn't do anything.
You are currently asleep inside the tree at the center of the circle with Theron, who was very gentle in offering you a room to stay as he had picked up on your emotional state when he tried to give you a hug initially. But he showed you to your room and said, if you need anything, I'm just down the hall and on the left. You struggled to fall asleep. However, as the weight of exhaustion starts to take you, give me a perception roll. You, for the first time in this journey, after the months that it's taken since you left Fairweather, you finally feel something coming from the needle at your side. What ends up happening is very strange because at first you get a prickling sensation, almost like when the hairs on your back of your neck stand up on end. Then you suddenly feel a barking sensation as if a dog was howling in the distance, like aggressively calling out at someone. Then you suddenly feel a deep sense of satisfaction, followed by a desperate cry to run from an ethereal feminine voice that you've never heard before and yet feels deeply familiar.
What?
The needle starts to shiver momentarily and points towards the direction that Theron had mentioned where his room was. What do you do?
Am I in a dream? So
No,
I'm
you were in bed, but as it started happening, you looked at the needle and saw it it's partially levitating and pointing in the direction of Theron's room.
Oh, okay. So I quietly sneak over to where it's pointing me.
Perfect, because as you enter into the corridor, you see a strange looking boy with, it's hard to see in the night, but he's got fey wings. Give me a perception roll. Ooh, very nice. Okay, you immediately sense something is off. As your eyes start to get adjust to the darkness, you realize that the fey wings that this boy had were not in fact wings, but rather hair, shaped to look like wings. It's a fake. What do you do?
What? Okay, so where is it?
In the corridor, it was sneaking towards Theron's room. You realize from its body language, because your perception was so high, that whatever this thing was, it did not want to be seen. You're gonna catch it by surprise, so it hasn't noticed you yet.
Can I create a harmless thunderclap to loud enough to awaken to alert Theron?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go for it. Okay, give me a spellcast. So resolve plus composure.
Resolve plus composure.
So +7 to your roll. Yeah, and add in Arcana as well, so that's +5 to that as well on top of that. So
that's 26.
Holy. Okay, yeah. All right, everybody. So you're about to find out what just happened. Okay, so everybody was in their sleeping positions. Nyx was up against the tree, who had just woken up from a nightmare. Sylaris was bubbling away at the bottom of the pond. Spira had just closed their eyes on the Ember Lion fur bed inside the tent, when all of you suddenly hear the explosion of a thunderclap emanating from within the tree at the center of the circle.
What? What
It
was
literally
that?
shakes the entire camp awake. Like, you were leaning against the tree, by the way, Nick, so your ears are ringing.
Just like looking around, what the heck is going on? What was that?
Tella, the creature that you were looking at that was sneaking down the corridor that was about to enter Theron's room hisses at you when it spots you, and well, it hears you and spots you, and immediately bolts for one of the tiny little windows, and it busts out of the window. Nyx, give me Nyx, I'm gonna give you a surprise attack roll. You can attack it or you can grab it or whatever. It's literally right above your head.
I'm just going to attack.
Sword or hand?
+5. Yeah.
Also, amazing job, by the way, Tella.
Oh
If
my
it's
God.
sneaking, it doesn't want to be seen, so I gotta do the opposite.
You've got an alarm system built in with it. Sorry, you made the attack. What was the roll?
It was 11.
Okay. Well,
Oh.
I like how
Okay.
you just go straight for murder. Well,
Listen,
I have to
I had
ask.
a nightmare.
I'm going.
Something attacked.
You know what?
I'm in.
That's in character. That actually makes sense. And I'm going to assume you use your family sword.
Yes.
All right. Just a second, cracking my knuckles here, because this tiny little creature that was
Oh my God.
This tiny little creature that was, to Nyx's eyes, looked like a fae. However, Hyacinth's perception roll earlier was so good that they realized that it was actually a fake, pretending to be a fae, manipulating its hair to look like it has tiny wings and antenna. Your sword doesn't care regardless of whether it was or wasn't a fae. Because it slices clean through the little thing, splitting it in half as it screams and bursts into tiny shards of hair, followed by a fracturing of spirit, and the remains of its soul are imbued into your sword from its absorption properties. You feel a wrestling sensation as your whole body stands on end and a second tail sprouts forth.
I got a second tip, but I'm so confused what happened.
Both. Okay.
I'm even more confused.
How
and
does everyone
dazed
else
and-
react?
I'm just like, what?
Spira, you're awoken by the sound of Galadorn literally launching himself out of the tent with a sword in hand.
Yeah, Spira just grabs her bow and arrow and just bolts after him and then just stands shocked.
Sylaris, do you rise from the depths of the pond with your eyes poking out
Yeah.
above the water? Just like...
Yeah, my head pokes out of the water, and I'm just looking around confused. What's happening?
From both Sylaris and Spira's perception, they heard a loud bang, and when they came outside, they saw Nyx standing there with a second tail.
I'm just looking at my sword and looking at my new tail and looking back at my sword, just confused.
Hyacinth, what do you do?
I go over to Nyx and I'm like, what was that? What did you do? What happened? Are you okay?
I'm fine. I just...
Where did it go?
I attacked it. I don't know what exactly I attacked, but it's gone now, and now I have another tail.
You killed someone?
You sound
Why did you grow another tail? What? That thing was in Theron's room. It was about to hurt him.
Well, I guess it's a good thing I attacked it then, and now it's no longer a problem. What was that?
You attacked them without knowing what it was even.
I mean, good on your reflexes.
Yeah, Galadorn is like, and where's Theron?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Where is Theron?
Hyacinth flies back into the house.
You see his door is still closed. Do you open it?
I open it.
You see a poor old man clutching at his heart at the end of the bed, just going. You can take him out to get some medical treatment from Spira.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be okay. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I'm trying to explain that someone was trying to come in your room. I try to alert everyone.
For everyone else, you see Hyacinth bringing a very scared and cold sweated Theron who's clutching at his chest and breathing heavily. But other than that, he seems uninjured. He's just, having the shock of his life with a bad heart. So, Spira, what do you do?
I've almost killed this old man.
Arista
The thing
and
that almost killed the old man.
Arista and Elerena also come out of their tent being like, what is happening? What is happening?
Spirit just goes up to them and just like, hey, are you okay?
It hurts to breathe.
Please
Yes.
help him.
Yeah, give me an apothecary roll, because he did have a small heart attack. Thunderclap inside his house. I mean, it was a good move on your part, but yeah, I'm just saying,
I was sleeping beside the tree.
yeah, your heart is also going a million miles an
I
hour
was
as well.
like, what just happened? I went into the fight mode because I had no idea what was happening.
Also, it's gonna take a while for you to get used to having an extra floof now. You've got 2 of them.
I gotta up.
Yeah, you realize that it's a palpitation and that with the right posture, so you put him on his back, you help lift up his legs so that the blood flow stays within his torso, and you tell him to take slow, deep breaths, and after a while, the shock that he was going into starts to ease away slowly as his heart rate gradually returns to normal. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think you should be good now, but maybe drink some chamomile tea or something like that.
Yes, that is an excellent idea as he drifts gently back into his house to make himself a cup of flower tea. He comes out.
Don't go back inside.
What? You took care of it, didn't you?
Something's going on. I don't understand it. Something led me to it.
What was it exactly? Galadorn also says, what exactly was it? He looks at you two.
She's hesitant to say what it is.
You can describe it.
It looked like a fae, but it had hair covered, and it was pretending to be wings, and
Everybody give me an intelligence roll.
Everyone?
Yeah, everyone. I'm going to roll for the side characters as well. This is going to be if anybody has investigation skill, you can add to that as well. Let's see. Ooh, nice on the Spira's roll.
I do have investigation +2, so +3.
Theron is still recovering. All he can think about is making a cup of tea. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Galadorn has no clue either.
We're all idiots.
Come on, Arista.
Arista, please.
Based on the information that you guys explained and that Hyacinth could remember, you realize that there was intent in what it was doing. Clearly it wasn't animalistic in nature because 1, it was using deception to appear as a fae, and 2, it was using infiltration to go after arguably one of the most important people within the fae circle itself. Because if Theron had died, the whole circle would have come down. So
But how could anybody enter the circle?
exactly, says Arista. The master of a circle, if I understand the fae correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, Hyacinth, but the master of the circle and their kin can usually tell when travelers come and go between the barriers.
Yes. That's correct.
Then
So Theron should have known that something was here, but unless it came in way before or it followed us in.
Galadorn also looks confused and he says, but remember, time travels faster inside of here. So you guys may have been here for half a day, but it's only been a handful of minutes outside.
It could have followed pretty close by us, but even so, shouldn't Theron have known unless he was asleep?
Yeah, he was sensing you when you were hiding in my pocket or in my bag, Hyacinth. So he would, he definitely should have sensed if someone other than us crossed.
Rox also adds into the conversation because he's now woken up. It took him a long time to wake up. He loves sleeping, so he approaches with rubbing eyes. He gets the general gist of what's happening here, but he slowly walks over and he's just like, unless Theron wanted this to happen. He rubs his eyes. Theron is shocked. He's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And he's like, well, you're supposed to be the master of this circle, right? So anything that came in has to have been with your approval, right? Well, not approval, but I should have known the moment any sentient creature crosses the barrier. I can even tell when wild animals come and go, but somebody with thoughts and feelings, with their spirits and their soul that's strong, I wouldn't have known. And I didn't sense any such creature.
Or you are lying.
There's something that led me to it.
Arista, Rox,
What?
Galadorn, they all look to you like, what?
What do you mean, Hyacinth?
She brings out the needle that she has around her waist. This actually pointed me towards the thing. It warned me.
Your needle?
Yeah, my needle.
Arista looks at it and says, would you mind if I just examined it for a second? I don't know. I
No.
won't touch it. Oh, okay.
Sorry.
she was like practically drooling at the opportunity to study a magic item and then backed off when you said no. She's like, hey.
I'm sorry. I trust you. And she gives it to Arista. She
it-
hesitantly gives it.
you don't need to give it. I will just study it with my spirits. So she doesn't want to touch it herself as well because she has no idea what it's capable of doing. You might be safe handling it, but it might backfire on someone that's not a fae, is what she's thinking. So yeah, she just places her hand like above you and you can feel the warmth of her hand and her spirit sort of gently probe forward and immediately recall. And she's just like, what is this? This is exceptional. This is beyond anything I've seen in the academy. And we live forever. She jokes about this. We practically could live forever, and we've not been capable of imbuing an object like this with this level of spiritual density. What?
It's just a stupid needle. It's not anything important.
I beg to differ. This is ancient. This is old. This might be older than anything. It could be older than all of our species.
Wait.
Hyacinth is in possession of a tiny needle that was hidden from the group. Spira, how do you react to this?
Do you mean that this is way more ancient than even the catastrophe?
It might be from the catastrophe, Arista says with a shocked expression. I've never encountered an object with this level of spiritual density. It would have taken at least 1,000 or 3,000 years. I don't know. She's shocked and she's the academic.
And Hyacinth is just staring at her, the needle, perplexed, like, what the hell have I been holding this whole time?
Can you explain to us exactly what it did?
It glowed and then it pointed towards whatever was coming to Theron's room.
And
Could it be that it reacted to that specific being? Because it's never done this before, right?
No, not at all. Oh, well, I remember it was like I heard a woman calling to me. It was familiar, but never heard her voice before. But she said something. I can't remember. I can't even make out the words she said.
how do you guys interpret this response?
Could someone be stuck inside of it?
How did you even get this needle?
I found it.
You
Just found it, like laying on the floor,
Yeah.
and that's it.
I found it after I left the face circle that I was in.
You found this powerful needle outside the face.
Yeah.
This is very suspicious.
Look, it doesn't matter where I got it. I have it now, and it's with me. It's mine now.
Maybe someone wanted you to find this.
Spira, you remember back at the town of Upper that Hyacinth approached the blacksmith asking about doing something with the needle. It was an inconsequential detail at the time, but that memory does pop back to the present. Galadorn looks up and goes, "Where is the Monkey King?"
Oh my god.
That's a good question.
Didn't he
Where is he?
go back?
Rock says he'll quickly go check the tent. So Rock goes inside and comes back out with his hand planted across his scarred face. And he just goes, fast asleep. Didn't even wake up to the bang.
Should we wake him up? I mean...
What do you guys want to do? Because it is still night. You can rest, or you guys can choose to do something.
I say we should.
Oh, I definitely don't want to go back to sleep.
There. It might be something else lurking around here. We have to make sure.
I think someone should always be by Theron's side, just in case something happens again.
I'll be the one to do it.
In case he tries to do something again. I'm so suspicious of him.
I'll be near him. I'll keep guard. And so Hyacinth quickly leaves everyone else to go back inside the house, so nobody asks about the needle no more.
Fair.
What is that thing? Exploded into hair shards?
Hair?
Spirits?
Sylaris, give me an intelligence roll.
I don't have any intelligence.
Can I quote you on that?
I'm the dumbest
Can I quote you on
here.
that?
I told you.
It's okay, I have 1 in intelligence.
I have 0.
You get a feeling that you may have heard of something similar before.
This is evil.
Oh, and I forgot that.
Back in your hometown, you remember that one of the few other species who would visit your town were the Mer and vampire. The Mer naturally got along well with the abyssal because of the agreement to protect their children, and the vampires also enjoyed visiting the abyssal because it's pitch dark in your cities and there's no sunlight, and they can be at their maximum potential in your territories. You do remember your grandmother telling you stories about vampires and that they can split their bodies up into tiny forms. Those forms are classically that of a bat, which was their primal forms. However, there's always been stories that they are not restricted to just taking the form of a bat. And that's the memory that I'm going to give you for that role.
Okay. So I'm telling everyone about this.
Yeah, so you suspect that it might possibly be a vampire. It matches what you would know of it. I mean, the only other thing is that it's a very tiny Pegasus. I mean, a very tiny Centaur, because it also could have like lit off. How would Galadorn react to this? You know what his first roll is? I don't even need to roll it, but I'm going to roll anyway. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Come on, Galador. You're supposed to be the leader here.
No, I don't know.
Second time in a row.
He's not a night person.
I just want to go back to sleep.
Yeah, he's too groggy. He needs his coffee.
He's like, I don't understand what's happening anymore. And then when he wakes up in the morning, he's like, oh my God, I just missed that.
It just it all connects in the morning.
Oh my God.
He basically is just like too tired for this. He's like, I'm gonna do a sweep around the perimeter and then I'm gonna head back to bed because you neutralized the threat. It may have just been a wild animal. If it was a vampire, like you said, Sylaris, then Theron would have noticed it coming in, even if it had split itself up into smaller forms. And he basically goes on patrol.
What if it was just this one for small form? I mean, what if the other ones are outside?
Oh, you mean that they're waiting outside of the Fey Circle?
I mean, the vampires split themselves into tiny pieces, and just one of the tiny pieces went into the circle.
Arista speaks up and she's like, that would be incredibly dangerous for the vampire. Remember, time flows differently between here and there. So their soul would basically enter into like a different time. You know, it would be desynchronized from the rest of its soul. I have no idea if the soul could survive that.
Not even a couple of minutes?
No. The vampires are really hard to study because they're not exactly the most friendly of type, but I would imagine that they are fully aware of everything that's happening to each of their fragments. So if you were to desynchronize the time between them, then it would be experiencing 2 different rates of time at the exact same time. I don't know if the mind could endure that.
So if it was a vampire, then this means that the other pieces should be still here somewhere.
I'm clapping.
The question is also if
they definitely check the perimeter and look for any more pieces that could be around here.
Yeah, we should, yeah.
Yay! Yay!
The question is also if it was targeting Theron because then the phase circle would collapse, or if it didn't know that.
But I'm still suspicious of Theron because he should have noticed that someone crossed the border. I mean, someone entered the phase circle.
So what do you guys
Is
do?
there any way he couldn't have known? Like,
Hyacinth is in the house right now, but can I have Hyacinth looking around the house while pointing at her sword at everything, trying to figure out how it works again? Yeah, but she's just trying anything. She's just running around, just pointing it at everything, seeing if it'll do it again. Like, you know how you hold a dowsing rod?
Yes.
It's basically what she's doing. Yeah, but she's stupid and doing her own thing. She's thinking she's helping, but she's really not.
Yeah, you feel like you're helping, and that's what matters.
That's what matters. And nobody's here to ask me questions.
So while Hyacinth is the only person who can actually check the house, you don't find anything. The needle doesn't help, but you're still looking. So yeah, you don't find anything else in the house. However, what does the rest of the group do? Because yes, you have realized that if there was one piece of a vampire here, then there might be more. Also, Sylaris would definitely know this, but when the part of a vampire body dies, it hurts. It's a part of their soul. It's a part of their physical body. They're different to the centaurs, where the centaurs really extract their own soul, and that soul doesn't get damaged when the primal soul is destroyed. The vampires are the opposite. They split off their body containing pieces of their soul. So when that piece of the body dies, so does their soul.
It's basically like a Horcrux.
I killed
in
some
Harry
part of
Potter.
somebody's soul.
Hence why Nick got a second tail. And as I said before, a soul is a potent source of energy.
Yeah, I can see that now.
But at least it has weakened the vampire, so we definitely should find the remaining parts or part.
That means wherever it is, it's probably be like writhing in pain on
Oh,
the
it
floor.
knows. It
Yeah.
knows. It definitely knows.
It definitely knows it lost part of its soul.
So we should search outside and everywhere.
Where do you want to go? See, what you're in a very, very large meadow. It was a part of the forest that was torn down and turned into a large encampment with small crops growing on the side of it. So, but it was compressed. The space was compressed. So it's quite a large area, but there's lots of tents with the other unicorns living in it. And then there's also the fields where the food is being grown. And then there's also a stream inside of it that is got running water going through. Yeah, they have everything they need to survive and thrive in here, which means it's quite a large space as well, because they planned to, turn this into a full-blown settlement.
And it's dark right now.
It is the
Right?
middle of the night. Well,
Middle of
about,
the night
yeah,
still.
about middle of the night now. So they would
Mhm.
vampires. They, because of their mastery of the night ability, the one that lets them split their body, they have expert control over their bodies, but they are lethargic during the day, during the sunlight. They can still move in sunlight. It's just that they are like super groggy.
Should we bait them out somehow? Because if the vampire is weakened, I think they maybe need to feed. So maybe with some blood we can bait them.
Huh?
Yeah, Galadorn is definitely not a night person. He rolled another one.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
He's just a day person.
Spira, can I please make you do an instinct roll here? Please. It'll be in character for you.
Yep.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Save
Your
this,
D20,
save
right?
this poor
Save
man.
this-
You know what? Good enough. Spira, you have a thought that comes across your mind. What is the most valuable thing about this circle? Why would a vampire even be here?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that right before.
Yeah, please.
Yep.
Please say
should it be the unicorn horn?
I think they might be after the unicorns. It's got no other reason to be in this phase circle other than the unicorns.
Poor Galadorn. This literally is one job. This man, I swear, he has one job in his life, and he rolls a crit fail like 3 times.
He's supposed to be protecting the unicorns, and he's just failing.
He's not a night person, okay?
He's not awake yet.
Spira's gonna just summon her little pony army because she wants to just a whole lot tiny little fox. Like, they don't need to be big, they just need to be manly. Because she just wants them to run over to the tents to look if there's something around there.
Give me a spell cast, which will be your resolve plus composure. I'll give you a bonus as well because you're not in combat Yep, nope, easy. You split off into your dozen pony army again. So what instructions do you give them?
Go run over to the tents, peek inside, fly around them, try to look after someone who might be writhing in pain, or at least looks like it's been gravely injured.
Ooh, nice. So your army takes to the sky, and several of them start circling around the inside of the face circle. The others start landing nearby the various tents and start poking their heads inside of it. This does cause a bit of a shock as several of the unicorns wake up and get a bit of a fright, but when they realize, they can sense that this is the primal soul ability, so it doesn't really spook them. Galadorn, however, is walking along towards the edge of the face circle because he wants to check outside for a brief second. But you guys hear a scream come from one of the tents. Hyacinth, you also hear this from inside the tree.
Fly over there.
I'm gonna fly over there.
We go over there.
Yeah, Spira just bolts.
Yeah, Galadorn also turns around when he hears this. I'm not even going to make him roll for that one. I don't trust him.
Galadorn groggily turns around.
He rolls another one or two.
As you guys are running towards the tent, you hear more shouting from a few other tents as well. It's a mixture of adult voices crying out, "Where are you? Where did you go? Where are you?" You fear the worst as you peek inside the tent, and you find that almost all the children have gone missing.
Oh.
Great.
But how?
Galadorn immediately runs to the tent where the Monkey King is sleeping in and doesn't care if it's rude or not and starts shaking him awake. And he's just like, "Please, King Kong, please wake up." And he wakes up. So, what's going on? Oh, Galadorn! How can I help you, buddy? Please, the children are missing. Huh? What are you talking about? You can see he's panicking a sweat. What do you guys do when you see this?
I'm gonna go to Therum and be like, "Do you sense anything? Have you sensed if anybody has left this circle?"
He focuses for a moment and he thinks and he's like, "Wait, right now to the east. I can feel them passing through. It's just the children, but there's also something smaller. They're tiny. There's so many of them."
And then
We should leave as well immediately.
run.
Yes.
Because
Run.
because they will be right outside of the
too.
face circle.
All right.
Because it's just several moments
Please make
outside.
Galadon also come with us. Please don't make him roll
This
for
is his
it.
time
Yeah.
to shine.
Yeah, basically Rock slings the Monkey King over his shoulder and grabs his staff while Arista, Elorena, and Galadorn are charging towards the east. You basically got a half-awake Monkey King laughing a little bit at the silliness of what's happening, but he hasn't fully grasped what's happening. And yeah, you guys are all sprinting.
Except me, I'm flying.
Yeah, you're flying. You guys are
Yeah.
all going at full speed.
I'm sorry.
I'm flying too. It's just, yeah.
With a bunch of little ponies.
Yeah. I think I'll make sure that all of my soul leaves the area at the same time, though.
Yeah.
Can
you
I
guys-
hop on one of your ponies just because I think I will be really far behind you?
I am so glad that you picked up on that tiny detail, Gina. I was going to punish you for it if you hadn't noticed.
Wait, what happened?
Gina was aware of the dangers of leaving your soul in a different time stream.
Oh.
Gina picked up on that.
Come, my ponies.
Yeah, but they basically just stop right before because it took me a while.
As the group of you are running towards the edge of the circle, remember it's a big area inside of here. So it's meant to be a settlement that's supposed to last for decades of population growth, right? They plan this to be their forever home. So as you're running through the fields that have been growing here, everybody give me a dodge roll.
Okay, I dodged it.
Oh my god.
Oh, nice.
So what immediately happens is, as you guys are running through, suddenly you see Rock, who was carrying the Monkey King, suddenly getting yeeted back, like ripped backwards, as if something had grabbed his ankle and thrown him back towards the center of the camp. He goes tumbling through the air with the Monkey King in tow. All of you, except for Nyx, notice a slithering of hair along the ground, like long golden hair, and Nyx also gets dragged by the feet and pulled into the field. However,
Nasty.
Spira and Sylaris rolled high enough that they can provide an assist. So you can try and grab Nyx.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and grab them.
And Hyacinth, you also rolled really high. So you have an opportunity to try and spot where the source of the hair is coming from.
Can I go after the hair?
Yes.
I mean, while Spira is helping Nyx, I think I will grab my sword and go after the hare.
I'm gonna point my needle towards the hair or with the source of where the hair is going.
The needle does nothing.
This damn needle!
Spira, give me a strength roll. So Spira, yeah, you just barely managed to hold on. You get pulled forward a bit, but you hold on. Sylaris, give me an attack roll on the hair.
Oh my god, it's plus 18.
Nice.
I love this. I only rolled 24 with a plus 18.
Vampires are masters of their bodily forms. And as you're about to slice through the hair, it separates where you're about to cut it. So it looks as if you cut it, but it didn't actually cut. It separated naturally. However, the bundle that was pulling at Nyx's legs lets go of Nyx, and it immediately snaps back into itself like a rubber band. And a tiny little boy appears who really jumps up and down and yells at Nyx, being like, "I'm gonna cut your throat next time we meet!" and runs off into the field.
Oh, I was like, Grudge against Nyx.
This tiny form is inside of the field.
Maybe I can hurl one of my daggers towards them.
You know what? You rolled really high. Go for it.
Okay, then I'm throwing one of my daggers towards the boy.
Yeah, you hear a scream come from inside of the field. When you run over to where your dagger was, you see it lying there on the floor, as well as a trail of crimson red blood. Like, it's so vibrant that you've never seen blood that rich before. Do you want to bottle some of it?
Yes, definitely. We are in the middle of a fight, but just excuse me, guys. I will collect some samples.
Can you collect some samples for me too?
Can I like fly past Sylaris as she's doing that and then try throwing my spear?
Yeah, sure.
Or my Kilrathi?
Sure,
well, I have
for it.
8 tentacles, and it will only occupy 4 of my tentacles, so I'm still good.
Either way, you're distracted.
Yep. Hyacinth, give me your attack roll. Oh my god. Well then. About that.
Okay.
Sylaris, your dagger flies into the field, and you hear the blood-curdling shout of the small boy. As you run over, you see the blood is covering your dagger, which makes it easy to scrape into one of your vials. Hyacinth flies in like death from above, and just like a wasp, the Kilrathi horn staff wisps through the air, and you just hear and a small explosion of spirits erupts within it. It illuminates the field, casting shadows in all directions for a brief moment. At the edge of the Fey barrier, you hear a blood-curdling scream. Not again!
Spira's just gonna bolt straight towards that.
Nyx is gonna run straight towards the
Me
screen.
too. After I'm done collecting the vampire blood, I'm also bolting towards the sound.
Yeah, congratulations, Hyacinth. You partially murdered a vampire. I'm just gonna say your Kilrathi horn also has one of your threads on it, so you can just pull the Kilrathi horn back up to you.
Nice.
Yeah, so you're just yoink, and pull it back. Okay, so you can catch and release. Everybody give me a perception roll.
Okay. Oh,
my gosh.
My god.
20. I did a nat 20.
You guys all look up to see a giant gray dragon with a monkey king on top of his head, with riding forth across the sky as the two of them whoosh over him. You hear King Kong just scream, "Charge!" You can see that there's only a few children left on this side of the barrier. The vampire that was trying to steal them, all of the little pieces that had tricked the children by pretending to be Fae, are coalescing together to form actually a young adult now, so early 20s. It looks like a man in his early 20s now. You can see that there are 2 strangely shaped scars running across his neck, because 2 parts of him died.
Well,
So, yeah, essentially you scarred both sides of his neck. So he wasn't joking when he says he's going to cut your throats when he sees you next time.
revenge.
Not sorry.
I got a tail out of it.
He spot the group of you, and he waves at you in a mocking sense and lets himself fall backwards over the edge of the Fey barrier. You see the last few children who are still on this side look a bit confused as to like, what? Because the dragon has pulled all of their attention as well. They're just like, huh? And you guys arrive at the edge of the barrier. Galadorn is immediately shouting at the children and telling them to run back to the tents. What do you guys do?
The Spira shouts at them too.
We gotta go get the other
No.
children from the
Gotta
other
go
side of the barrier.
All right.
The Spira pauses with all of her ponies at the same time.
All right. You guys pass through the barrier onto the other side. And
Hold on, wait. Can I stop in front of the children and like be like, never trust another Fae except for me, unless I approve of them.
They nod their heads up and down because they realize they are in trouble. Like, yes. They've literally never lived outside of this circle before, so they had no idea. Yeah, they're just like, okay.
Okay, and then I follow along.
With that scolding out of the way, you're really good with kids. As you guys exit onto the other side of the Fey barrier, when you guys went through, it was that blue lily field where it had all those wonderful flowers. And as you exit outside, the flowers have taken on a different color. They are covered in blood, and the entire circle is just an absolute massacre of ember lions. Almost all of them have been absolutely decimated on the other side, and there's no sign of the children or the vampire that you saw before. However, you do spot what looks to be a tiny mewing ember lion desperately calling out for someone, anyone.
It's so cute. Support me.
We can't just leave it here.
To pick it up.
It's very small. Like, you could easily raise it to be a member of the party. I'll give you that one.
Can I have
Yes, you can have it.
Can we, if they are already murdered, can we collect their skins?
Do you have
and
time?
furs?
We do not have time for that. We can come back later.
Galadorn immediately pleads with King Kong again, now that King Kong is awake. Rox is still in his dragon form outside of the Fey circle now. So King Kong jumps down and is ready to talk with Galadorn. Galadorn is just like, we have to save the children, but we can't leave the others. Now that we know that the circle is compromised, I don't know how they got in. And the Monkey King laughs and is like, what if they never actually got in? What if they were always here, my friend? Sneaky things the vampires are. Sneaky things. They may have been waiting the entire time. They may have been following the entire time. But that makes me ask you a question. Were you entirely honest with me when we first met? I asked you where you came from, what you were up to, and you said you were being hunted. You never told me that you were being actually chased. You told me that you were being hunted for your horns. Why did they not just take the children's horns? Why did they take the children? Galador was like, we don't have time for this. And he's like, we agreed. We had an agreement, and our agreement was based on trust. Arista is like, please, no, there is no time for this, King Kong. And he's like, I am the Monkey King, and my word is important, but so is my people. The vampires won't just mess around with your people, they'll mess around with mine as well. And I need to know what is going on here because I may have agreed to something, and I don't know if you were fully honest with me at the start. And Galadorn is desperate now, and he's like, please, we can change our agreement. We can increase the amount of horns that we can give to you if you can ensure our protection. I don't know about that. It might be a while to secure this area, especially since, well, they already know and they're getting away. I don't know. Arista is like, please, she's trying to go back to the negotiator role that she had before where she had botched this entire agreement and arrangement. Elorena is very quiet because she knows that she can't talk right now.
Hyacinth is gonna be like, you told me that you would help me, and now I'm asking you to help them as an order from me.
But at the same time, I don't like being lied to. As he looks at Galadorn with a bit more of a serious posture, because you know the Monkey King likes to mess around usually, but this time you can tell that while he still sounds happy, he's actually unhappy. You caught glimpses of it during the party when you guys were beating his team. He feels like he has made an agreement to something without being fully aware of what potential enemies he may have just made.
And Hyacinth backs down.
I need to know, Galadorn. I need to know. What enemies did you have before you got here? And you can see Galadorn is pained on his face, and he looks towards Spira. Okay, I admit we were captured on Verdantia and we managed to break free. I don't know what our captors were, but we were locked in cages and held in a prison deep in a forest somewhere. But when we finally broke free, we were able to catch a boat with the help of Theron. And I didn't mention this before because I didn't think that they would ever find us across on this side of the ocean. I thought that if we slipped across, the only ones who knew we were even coming here was Jareth and the captain. Those are the only other two who knew where we were heading. No one else in this world would know. Once we broke free of the prison that we were being held in, we made for the coastline, and that's where we found only those two Thrope know. You can see he's pleading. He's like, please, I didn't lie to you. I didn't think it was important anymore. And he looks towards Arista, who's also desperately trying to calm down the Monkey King. And Arista looks towards you four and is just like, guys, I need your help here. This might be what Zenai was trying to warn us all about.
The devils?
What do you do?
I'm still stuck on the hypothesis that the Monkey King said earlier, that the vampires got inside way in the beginning. But how did they survive? I mean, they had to feed, and there would be signs of that. So they...
Give me a memory roll. So give me an intelligence roll.
Intelligence or what?
Yeah, just
I'm not
roll.
intelligent, guys, so please save me. Yeah.
Oh.
3.
Oh,
nice.
okay, yeah.
Oh, no, I got
Hyacinth
great.
with
Wait,
the
I got a
negative
nat 20.
ones.
You're smart.
When Sylaris mentions this, both Hyacinth and Spira and Sylaris do vaguely remember there being what initially was thought to be mosquito bites on the children and some of the adults, and potentially this could have been the vampires in very tiny forms siphoning away blood without being noticed, basically pretending to be little mosquitoes.
They were
They were pretending to be mosquitoes this whole time.
Are you kidding me, Jono?
You know what, Jono? I was about to say fleas, but I didn't want to sound stupid. But
They were
I mean, not
mosquitoes.
stupid. I
This
didn't
is
want to be wrong.
Mosquitoes weren't
I
mosquitoes.
didn't want to be wrong.
I didn't say they were the
and look
size of
stupid.
mosquitoes. I mean
I
that
should take notes starting from now on. Me too. Notes about every single word you say, because it seems everything has some deeper meaning here. I would never have thought.
Evil.
Yes.
Evil.
But it's good.
yeah.
This is very good.
Yeah, very good.
Genius. Evil genius.
Yes.
All right. The Arista is pleading with you guys and is like, I need your help here. The Monkey King basically isn't going to budge on this because he feels like he's been lied to and his people might be put in danger now. So he wants to check on his kingdom and not chase after some vampires and children. Galadorn is now desperate to rescue the children, but is terrified to leave the compromised Fae Circle. So the only ones here who can help are you.
Let's do this.
I think there is something really big going on at the moment, and especially if they have tried to capture the unicorns for so long and chase them around half of the world, basically. And there's a lot of darkness going around. There's demons, wraiths. This might be part of that. I mean, if that is the case, I think it's really, really important for us to really help each other out. This is not something that one herd or one species can do on their own. We need help.
Galadorn looks and is like, really, if you would, he looks towards Elarena and he's like, Elarena, would you, Arista, and Rox help out Spira's friend? If Spira and her friends can rescue the children, and I'll remain here to protect the rest of the herd. Arista and Elarena basically nod straight up. They're just like, yep, let's go. And Roxy says, I go where she goes. Arista says, we can only do this if all of you guys agree.
Of course I agree.
But it does mean we'll have to part ways. Spira, would you mind if I use the forbidden magic, the soul changing, in order to access your memories of where your friend is? Would you trust me with that?
Yes, I do.
For the first time in quite a while, Arista takes out her wings. All of you feel the temperature of the air drop precipitously as she absorbs the spirits. She walks up to one of your summoned ponies and places her hand on top of it. For a brief moment, your mind connects with Arista. You gain brief flashes of her thoughts and feelings as you can feel that she's also thinking about the fact that her sister maybe had been planning for this from the beginning, that maybe Zenai had picked you guys up and brought them to her specifically for this. she can't tell. However, she does focus and manages to focus her thoughts on what she was intending to do with this magic, and she pictures that thing as it flashes across her mind. She almost jumps back when she sees what you saw, as she's never actually seen it in person besides the images, and she almost wants to throw up at the sight of it. However, she recognizes the river that your friend had mentioned and where they were going to stay, and she lets go of your pony, and she's just like, how do you sleep at night with memories of that thing?
I didn't for the first months. After a while, you just get so tired that you fall asleep. You get used to the nightmares.
She jumps onto Rox, who's still in his dragon form, and Elorena climbs up as well. She gives a parting wave and basically says, remember everything that Zenai and I taught you, and you'll be fine. And just remember, if you do come across a devil, it wants you to find it. But if you do catch one off guard, make sure you take it down before it gets away. And with that, Rox takes off and flies straight towards the ocean and back towards Vedantia. And that's where we're gonna call it for tonight.
No, I'm gonna kill that vampire.
Yeah,
I want another
that
tail.
vampire's gonna die.
I want another tail.
The next episode should be right here. Thanks for watching.